Raphael, Jekyll, DeepFinesse, Nerd Cube, Simon Bay.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Y'all ready for this?
Get ready for Terra Mystica's Tuesday League.
All right, welcome everybody. We have some Terra Mystica stream going on, although I'm not playing, but I got people with me, and we're going to talk over a really cool game. With me today, we got Deranged. He also streams. You can find him. We'll get his exact Twitch info later. And then I also have another surprise guest. We have DeepFinesse with us, who is the actual Season 3 champion of the Terra Mystica Premier League, and we have the last game of the Premier League here tonight. So welcome, guys. Thanks for joining.
Hi, Ranior. Good to be here.
Yeah, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, the Terra Mystica Tuesday League, we got the Premier League here. We got Simon, Raphael, Nerdcube, and Jekyll. They all technically have a path towards second place, but first place is already locked up by DeepFinesse here with us. But they have started the game, and we can dive into it. The settings, they are playing on fjords with landscape, so it looks like it is just the arena settings, which is kind of cool.
Yep, arena season in full swing. And I think it's a pretty good map, especially with landscapes. Most factions can guarantee themselves a good round one, or at least a good round one and round two. So a good start to the game. So that leaves you with a ton of options during the game, and it's not like lakes, for example, where you might have someone stranded and they just they just have a miserable game.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the Fjords map, and yeah, it's one of my favorites. I think there's a lot of fun factions here. All of them should go pretty well. We see the color wheel here. Green and gray on this map fight, but not quite like base map. They both can have decent games, so this looks really good.
Yeah. I guess the biggest pain for green is that gray takes E8, so that takes away their very easy one spade, two dwelling, especially with a dwelling scoring round one. They like to go perhaps a dwelling rush with the spade bonus tile and a priest power action. But other than that, like gray is not really going to take any key hexes away from green. Like just by existing. Perhaps F6, sometimes green likes to connect through F6, F7, F8, but it's also not a big deal.
Yeah, I completely agreed. The other things then, just noting the setup, I think this is just a really interesting game in terms of scoring opportunities. We have all the pass tiles for scoring. We have the spade and 6 coins pass tiles as well. I just think there's a lot of tiles that help players do good things, and the track looks pretty good too. Early dwellings and digging is kind of what you want to do. Build a few trading posts, get a town or two in round 4, build a ton of trading posts in 5, backfill with dwellings in 6. Really like a high scoring, interesting setup. That's probably why we do see people bidding the Alchemist here. Alchemists are good on this map, no color neighbors, pretty much all the features you'd like to see for a good Alchemist game.
I think Alchemist is one of Simon's favorite factions, but amusingly, it wasn't him that put in Alchemist in the auction. He put in Engineers, and Nerdcube was the one that threw Alchemists in third seat.
Yeah.
What are you do?
What are you? Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm thinking about like looking at Alchemist, the round 5, round 6. I think that works pretty well for them. Round round 5 trading posts, round 6 dwellings, but then so does it also works well for all the other factions. So it's hard to say that the track particularly favors any one of the factions here.
Yeah. Deranged, what are you seeing thus far?
Well, what I'm seeing is, like, as you pointed out, everyone's pointed out that this is like a very, very strong, like, economic sort of game. Like that late expansion, if you can expand kind of unhindered in the final round, then that's going to be a huge advantage. And I think that that's part of why we're seeing that black and yellow are getting bid so much more heavily than, no one's touched engineers or witches yet, because you just don't know if those hexes are still going to be there. Whereas you can be pretty sure that like your natural yellows and your natural blacks are still there. I mean, alchemists will advance their digs anyway. So in the final round, like the final round dwellings, right? Like sometimes that's actually not that high scoring. Like for engineers, if they manage to get F3, right? Like there's no guarantee that witches let them have F3. They could take the stronghold tile and start there and like do stronghold stuff, right? If they get F3, that could be like a huge shift in the game, because then they get D1, E2, C1, those grays that witches don't really want. A7, C9, F9, like that stuff can actually be accessible to engineers. But like alchemists are just going to be able to dig their way in the finals without having to actually like worry about any sort of factions like actually taking their hexes. And I think that that's very, very strong with like dwelling around final scoring.
This F3 point is the F3 point that you brought up is a pretty amusing one here, and this matters greatly, like whether engineers place first or witches place first. So in this game, engineers place first, so they're going to go E8, right? And then witches have to decide if they want to go F3. And then if they go F3, then the question comes back to, if you're engineers, are you going to go G4? And it's not an easy answer, because G4 is going to get you a ton of leech, but then you're stuck there in the corner.
You've been playing a lot more Arena this season though. So the other thing that's really confusing to me, just looking at all these factions, is like who should actually be playing for network. Like all of these factions could hit 15 or 16 network on this map. So like, I think that's going to be a really interesting fight this game.
I see that the chat is talking about it. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say witches are the ones that should not play network. I think partly because the witches network usually depends on A1 to C2 stretch, and they have to connect through like B4, D2. A couple of these are probably gonna get hit by engineers because they need to have a long, undisrupted green green hexes to go all the way from the top left to the bottom right. So I'm going to say witches are the one to give up.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Also, are witches starting on the spade pastile? Yeah, that's what chat's asking. My answer is yes. I just take the spade here, but maybe I'm too boring. I mean, stronghold witches are good on this map and they're fun, but I think I just take the spade. But
I agree. I take the spade.
That definitely. I know that Chad has been talking about 2 temple alchemists. If witches leave that 2 worker tile, then alchemists could certainly open with 2 temples. And talking about like, these factions could compete really hard for network. It's pretty hard to beat like 2 temple alchemists in terms of network. Like that's like a faction that can easily strand their temple and still hit 17. That can build all of their stuff. And given that it's late TPs and dwellings, like that actually could be kind of a viable solution here, right?
18 even, like with their is that 18?
Oh, with landscape, that's
I'm
true.
talking about stranding. I'm talking about like stranding G5. Like they could strand G5, like put a temple there, because witches could take away G6 or something, and then they would never connect that, and they could still hit 17 connected structures just from everything else.
Yes. I believe that's what Simon did a couple of weeks ago. He built all his structures. I forgot if one of them was stranded, and like none of his starting dwellings were part of towns, if I recall correctly.
So the other fun question to me here is, I have a kind of slightly weird fascination with doing stronghold nomads on this map, and I would like, if I get worker power here as nomads, I'd be very tempted to go stronghold nomads and then aim for like my temple in round 3. Is anybody else trying to do that, or are you just opening temple?
I like Stronghold. Well, I like Stronghold even more if Alchemist doesn't. If like Black is not in the game, perhaps, and you can build 2 dwellings.
Yeah.
In the dwelling round, that's not. And if that kind of also requires you to get the Stronghold bonus tile, which is not happening. And Alchemist also took away the spot that allows you to build 2 dwellings round 1 with a Stronghold, so that's also not happening.
Yeah. Well,
One of the
but
cool things,
so
yeah.
well, so I was gonna say one of the things though, like if you do go Nomad Stronghold though, you can take D4 and then next round you get C7 C8. Like yeah, it's a little slow, but round 2 I think goes really well off the Stronghold. Like we'll see. I would go Stronghold Nomads here. I don't know what Raphael's plan is.
In the short term, we can actually think about, so engineers, like as DeepFinesse pointed out, like have decided to place E8 first, and now they're deciding whether or not they're going to go G4. But who do we think is getting the double spade here, right?
Oh,
that's always pretty interesting.
Oh, we do get D1 too from engineers and F3 for witches. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure. I was leaning D1, but I'm not sure if D1 is actually better than G4. But we see the cube going for D1. This is pretty good. This will guarantee is late game dwellings or mid game dwellings. C1 and E2.
I was gonna say I'd like D1 more. I think if there's temp shipping in the game, but I guess he just really is gonna need a shipping advance soon. But yeah.
He also needs another connection hex on B5, I believe. Although that's a lot more flexible. He could like connect to his landscape somewhere.
He can connect E5 also to A7. Like, I mean, Nomads might beat him to E5. It depends on what they're prioritizing, but. Anyhow, looping back to Rage, you asked who got double dig. I've kind of been ignoring that because I don't freaking know. Engineers are a decent bet just because they upgrade first and they start with a bunch of power, but Nomads do get worker power here, and if they're not going the Stronghold life, maybe them.
Just wondering about Nomads, like Stronghold versus Temple, right? One of the cool things for Temples is if you can get good cult rewards or if you get rewarded for advancing your ship in the mid-game. But I don't see mid-game dwellings. I don't really see like great natural yellows from like ship expansion. So I'm not convinced that like there's a lot of incentive to go for double I mean, there's the ship tile in the game, right? But I'm not convinced that there's like a lot of incentive for Nomads to build that Stronghold. Or to build the
rewards are definitely pretty poor.
So
yeah, I mean, there's Earth rewards. So
interesting to me where Nomads upgraded though. So if I was doing a temple, I think it goes on E4 for like maybe a future sanctuary town or just more leech. But if I'm going Stronghold, I do think it's over in the west to rush out of town.
It also gives engineer to double dig on the platter.
Yeah, that's why that upgrade was very interesting to me. Yeah, like this is already a fascinating start.
Looking at Stronghold, right? I mean, Raphael played a 2 Temples Nomads game in a game where I similarly thought that cult rewards might not be that good, and it did indeed result in, not that high of a payoff. We're going to see if this is like a correction and you go Stronghold this time.
All right, Alchemists took the Priest. That makes sense somewhat. Although, yeah, wait a sec. Actually, does it? Are they going to advance ship and get a dwelling? I don't know. I also was with Chad. I thought witches were going to snap F7 just before Alchemists could potentially single dig it. But I guess Alchemists have no power, so there's no rush on it.
Yeah, if anything, engineers will double dig it. But I don't think... I believe Simon is going to open 2 temple and a ship and probably a dwelling on I8. I think he'll get enough power for it.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, actually, that's a good argument, though. Should engineers double dig F7?
I think F7 makes the connection so much easier.
That seems so obvious. It messes with witches pretty hardcore, too. Like, well, not that bad, I guess, but...
It's not the most natural way to reach the most grays, though. Because they could, like, going up, they just need one ship to hit.
That's true. Just taking D4 is pretty sweet, yeah.
And, yeah, they do decide to go north. So I think engineers are going to value like that early expansion rather than kind of fighting aggressively for their connection early. And I think this makes sense.
They'll get
though
their
now.
they'll get their
Yeah.
connection through the north this game. I agree. I don't think there's much pressure on like B4, B5. I guess unless witches go stronghold, then everything's up in the air.
There is a workers action left, so the stronghold is not terrible for witches. I mean, they took the spade, right? So you'd think that that means that they're going temple and dwelling, but if they do get the workers action, then that does put that would put stronghold back on the table.
Oh, we do get temple, which I guess makes some more sense. I like the stronghold line when I thought nomads might get D4, but yeah, engineers taking D4 does. That really slows things down. When is nomads ever going to get on a natural yellow hex this game? I think to me, nomads look like the deadest out of this opening. They paid for what? Like, no double dig, no good expansion as far as I see, right? Like, am I missing something here? Like, how are nomads ever expanding rapidly this game without getting to natural yellows?
I think usually they aren't though on fjords. There's really just one natural yellow they can get early, the C8 that you were hoping nomads was going to stronghold towards. But other than that, the ones on the edge, I feel like most of the time nomads don't reach them until round 4, round 5.
I suppose you're right. Yeah, but then if you're not getting double dig and you're not going stronghold, you didn't start on a spade tile. Like I guess you're passing for double dig. Like or you just take single dig. It's good enough.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like the upgrade next to engineers that much. Because if you upgrade away, then witches get to decide whether engineers get double dig or whether you get double dig.
I agree. I feel like F4 upgrade was so clearly the play, but Raphael's look. All these guys are better than me. I've played one game of Terra Mystica in the past 3 months. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
Was it on this map?
It was the one arena game I played against Zebok. Yeah.
And to be fair, you did open Stronghold Nomads in that game.
I played Stronghold Nomads. I had a good time. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, Stronghold Nomads does work out surprisingly well. I think it might just be the huge amount of reach that everyone's getting, because I feel like on other maps, Stronghold Nomads have a difficult time scoring, especially in the middle rounds. But on this map, maybe you can get an earlier tempo, even after sinking all that resources into the Stronghold.
I agree. I think that's the key point. I think you can get pretty early temples. So, for example, in the game we're referencing that I played, I opened Stronghold and still went temple for Earth 1 in round 2. So if you can do that, then like I ended round 2 like Stronghold, temple, 4 or 5 dwellings, right? Like, I mean, that's, yeah, if you can pull that shenanigans off, nomads will be really strong. But
yeah. And then all the points you paid for
I wonder if Raphael is considering. Yeah. Okay. Raphael does pass for the double dig. I was wondering if he was considering opening a second temple here, because it sounds kind of insane, but like 1 temple doesn't get him anything. 2 temples might. Like 2 ship might actually get him something, right?
yeah.
Because there is the natural yellow on I7, but he is passing for the double spade. Ooh,
well,
it's an undo.
He undid though, so.
Oh man, what does this mean?
I was gonna like go on a rant on how much I very much disagree with passing on the dwelling tile. I think passing on the 7 coins is so much more stronger. And the dwelling tile, yeah, it's 4 coins less, and that's worth like 6 or 7 points this early.
Strongly agreed with that. Yeah, he definitely should be passing for 7 coins here. Hey, welcome, Silver River. I have with me DeepFinesse and Deranged. We got 3 people chatting. It's good. Raphael still goes for the points, though. Yeah, I agree. That feels wrong. Like, denying the coins for the... Denying other people coins also just felt stronger, but...
I think Ondas was saying in chat that this is a low econ game to start because there's 4 scoring favors in, and to some extent, yes. But Nerdcube actually took the power, the ship score power, So that leaves the 7 coins, which is like a huge boost of economy to whoever gets it round 2.
Oh, I missed that nerd
That's a
cube.
good point.
Oh, I missed that
Yeah,
nerd cube
just straight up
guaranteed.
secured.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
so he was always getting double dig. So we're all nonsense, right? Like,
No, if
That
Nomad's
explains Raphael's
upgraded,
decision as well. Yeah.
yeah, if Nomad's upgraded on the left and Witch is also upgraded on the left, then Nerdcube could be stranded of the double dig.
well, but he started on the ship tile, right? He must have started with 12 power, right? Am I crazy? Or do I not?
Yeah.
He started
Okay, yeah.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, he guaranteed
I
himself
agree
double
with you.
dig
We
instead
all
of the
missed it.
coins. Yeah, we
So
look,
confused.
look at that. 3 players that don't know what we're talking about. Nerdcube always had double dig, so maybe Raphael's upgrade was fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the
So
bigger
it
news.
is Stronghold.
Correct. The bigger news: Stronghold Witches. They did take the workers' power action, and that's also really, I think, like it's really right. Like Jekyll flew to C2 and is gonna get B1 A1. She's also gonna beat Nerdcube to B4 if they want to, and I think that makes this engineer opening gambit a lot uglier.
They can kind of coexist on the top left still, because Jekyll might not take C1 to get a neighbor there. And then engineers might still form a rather ugly town with a couple of bridges. It could be done, but yes, I agree that engineers game is looking kind of dicey here. With like Jekyll could play in a way that very much messes with engineers' game plan.
I will say B5 is still there in terms of connection. So I mean, Nerdcube would have to go up to 3 ship, but like this is a good game to go up to 3 ship with that ship VP tile in the game, right?
Yeah.
It's a very strong opening by Jekyll here. Stronghold 4 dwellings, with and she might get to pass on to the Stronghold bonus tile next. Does that look likely? Simon has.
It's tough,
a
yeah.
couple more moves.
Alchemists can be a little annoying, but
Alchemists would need to take Water 2 in order to outstall Witches here. I mean, Jekyll has at least 3 moves left if she wants to play it slow. Simon has at most 2 without Water 2, so I think that I mean, not saying that Water 2 is bad, but I do think that he's more likely to go for Earth 1 here.
yeah, so I mean, witches long term now just need coins from somewhere, but everything else is pretty set.
Yeah, the most desirable past half around 2 is taken by engineers. So Witches really just want to pass.
I think your point's still really strong there too. Like I think Raphael really helped Nerdcube out too. Like Nerdcube just has so many more coins to build his second temple and stuff than he probably should have. Like I don't agree with Raphael leaving that for somebody else.
Yes, like it's 7 coins, but for engineers it's like 10 coins.
I think it's gonna pay huge dividends for Nerdcube. Yeah, like I think his game's significantly better. Otherwise, Nerdcube was passing on to 3 coins and some points. Like it's I mean that many extra coins is a huge swing. I think.
I think Nerdcube was otherwise passing on worker power. I think that he would have been okay. He took like 6 coins is better than worker power, but he wasn't going to pass on to dwelling points, I think.
Probably true, but I guess that he just opens with a coins action. You're right. He could have afforded it. He would have survived.
And has an extra worker. Like that's actually like not clear that that's actually like.
Although now he gets single dig, right? Like, I mean that's the thing. Like now Nerdcube can single dig a dwelling and still like build a temple this next round or something like.
Oh yeah, it's certainly good, and I actually think that he might prefer to ship rather than to dig this round.
Oh.
Because A7 is open. And a second ship advance gets him E2 and maybe C1 if Jekyll decides to be nice to him.
Or if he gets single dig, he gets C3. Who else is taking single dig this round? I doubt.
Oh, that's true. You could do ship advance and get C3 this round. So that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, Alchemist could take single dig. I'm not sure what they're going to do.
There's the double spade.
kind of leaves the Priest to Earth open, but there's not much choice there. Double Spade is like
Yeah.
Nomads desperately need this Double Spade.
He had to double spade. He takes h4 too. That's I guess that makes sense, but yeah, that's a little annoying to Alchemists.
It's a pretty aggressive dig, but it does secure 2 town spots essentially, all like at once, right? E5 is more important for connection, but like if Nerdkeep leaves that alone, which he probably should, then this is like a nice way to just carve out 2 towns very quickly without the stronghold.
Mm-hmm.
Whose spot do you all like the best thus far? What are we feeling?
This is tough. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, we do this all the time, right? We did this all the time during Fire 2 Open games. Casters make calls and then we're very wrong later. I'm gonna go with the safe default. Yeah, they're all pretty close. They're all crazy good players. It's probably pretty equal, but.
So Alchemist had the fewest victory points, but I'm gonna say that probably doesn't matter because he just chucked a ton of coins into victory points into coins. I think that if Witches connect, I really, really like their position. I think even without it, this is probably like better than we expected Jekyll to be doing at this point, right? She might just take a coins action here. I'm not sure. I don't like. It's not that crazy to burn down to 4 power this early if you're really getting something good out of it. And she could be like getting a temple for Earth 1 or Water 1 here, in addition to all the stuff that she already has. Looking at 3 towns, possibly second on connection now that Nomads didn't open with the stronghold, and Engineers are going to be left out of Leech with their D1 dwelling.
Chat's discussing whether Witches can connect this game or need to connect. And I'm more of the opinion that Witches don't need to connect. But
well, they certainly don't need to. If they do, I think I love their position, though.
I mean, I still don't know if you want to get into a network fight. I think Engineers are going to have a really good network still, despite what I said might happen. I think Alex are going to have a great network. Like, I wouldn't care about connected as Witches either. I do agree with you, Deranged as Witches. I think I just snap off a coins action. It's all I really need. I'm not sure I would have taken Single Dig as Alchemist. I thought Alchemists were going to take the Workers and take the Priest. I think they could have got both, got 3 shipping while they're on the ship tile, and spam out Dwellings. Am I crazy to think that they were going to get coins and the Priest here? Who's taking the Priest on them?
Simon was actually planning to break the landscape, but as a way to increase ship. But he forgot that the requirement for the landscape is the Alchemist Stronghold. So I think he's going to undo this dig here.
Oh, okay. He thought he was going to drop the landscape right now. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Ship without, so, effectively being a priest, but scoring 2 points on the track with the single dig.
Raphael in game chat has a very appealing offer of just surrender. So, I mean, that's a little tabletop going on there.
Okay, so Simon takes the priest, and he'll get the Workers back, because I really don't think anybody's taking the Workers, especially now that Engineers get single dig.
Agree. Going back to the Witches connection for a moment, though, I just realized how easy it actually is for Witches to connect. Because Jekyll can hard dig E4, fly to F5 this round, and then fly to I6 next round, and she's connected.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It is like, and I guess she will need all the coins to upgrade her ship, but other than that, it's like trivially easy for Witches to connect.
Witches have so many options on this map, yeah. I also do just love Witches on this map.
What do you think we're going to see from Witches this turn? Jekyll has a bunch of dwellings, very few neighbors. Is she going to make a play for connection? Is she going to try to make a temple? Is she going to, just use those Workers as some digs, or what do you think?
I like the hard dig on E4 and fly to F5, the connection line. It also gives you a couple of spots for training posts next round. Yeah. Even though the training posts might not do anything, perhaps. Well, she can get G4 though. So she could.
I think I leave E4, right? Who's really taking it this round? I kind of prefer the Temple line, I think. The Priest production also just seems solid this game. Like, oh, but what do we know? Deep Finesse, yeah. We should trust the expert.
Yeah.
I think Priest production's pretty good in a game where you're going to need to advance ship. There's no cult faction. So, like, I think cult points are also, like, really up in the air, right? There's tons of cult points this game for somebody.
I'm looking at that dig, and now I'm wondering if this was her plan. Like, if she's going to go to F5 or something now, maybe she could have flown to F5 and then put pressure on Alchemist just by digging G6 or something instead of E4. Oh, a second dig from Raphael.
Yeah.
Makes up for the dwelling points missing by spade points.
Engineers didn't take single dig, which is a little surprising to me. I mean, yeah, I guess
that's fine.
The third dwelling doesn't matter.
Yeah. They would rather save up for double dig.
Well, he's gonna have so much power though, right? I mean, this is the classic Fjord's problem. Like, he's about to build his other temple, presumably, and have 6 power income. He has nowhere to go with it all. Like, there's no power actions left for him that he wants. So
maybe he wants a bridge onto C3. Yeah.
Maybe that's
cool Towns Club.
It's a pity that the land bridge can connect you between C1 and C3. Otherwise, that makes it a little easier for Nerq to
like a real land bridge, one that crosses like the horizontal fat way over Hex.
All right. Yeah. Also, yeah, I haven't really been showing favors enough, but just to update chat, everything's probably loosely what you expected. Engineers started Earth 2, the double temple was Earth 2, Earth 1, Nomads opened Earth 1. Nerdcube doesn't build the temple. Okay, well, shows me what I know.
That's pretty surprising to me.
I mean,
that's surprising.
He passed for the spade, which, like, I get is really good, but...
Well, Nomads was going to pass next, right?
Yeah. So he decided that the spade was worth passing for instead of getting the temple.
Then he just gets double spade as compensation, right? Like, no one is taking double spade next round. Is it that important to get the one spade?
Well, the chat caught up though. Like, where's he putting double spade? Like, or you're just saying nobody else will have power by the time he wants to use it.
No one has power, so he can just advance his ship and then build somewhere and then double spade, right? Like, he could have advanced ship, built A1, then double spaded onto B5 and C3 or something. I mean, I don't know.
He's got a lot of moves before that, though, right? Because he also, I guess he could take Earth 1 later. But you have to take Earth 1, you have to advance ship before he can build, profitably. Yeah.
But I mean, like, that's you would think that that's another reason for just taking Earth 1 now, right? You'd think. But what do I know?
Yeah, I'm really surprised by the fact that he chose to pass for the spade there, because I think your argument's good, Deranged, that he's gonna get a double dig action, but he passed for a spade, so how does he need 3 spades next round? Like, he needs shipping more than spades.
Yeah, it's a TP round as well, so it's not like, like if he had built out a little more this round, then building TPs next round would be a little more attractive. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, like, Nerdcube's obviously extremely good. So
yeah, Deep Finesse with the right call on the Witch's plans, though. They're pulling off the just lock up the connection line. So Witches are fighting for network this game, which they had a strong economic start. I still think it might be a bit tough, but we'll see.
E4 is also has this unintended consequence of Alchemist, locking Alchemist out of the West.
That's true.
Because C4 doesn't get Alchemist to the blacks and the bottomless as easily.
That's true, actually. Alchemist long term are going to have slight issues on.
Do you think that this means Jekyll is committed to also taking away G4 then? Because it's at some point in the game, Alchemists are going to have those advanced digs.
Jekyll has a sanctuary town at E4, almost, or G4, right? I mean, Jekyll just upgraded F3. That's where the temple's going. There's a sanctuary town coming there someday.
Oh yeah, my only question is when is she going to take G4, right?
Yeah.
But it probably won't be too big of an issue. Simon has stuff to do before.
Jekyll getting to pass into 6 coins is real beautiful. That's nice.
Yeah, he has Tempo on Earth 1, depending on what Nerdkeep does here.
Nomads are Nomads are gonna do a trading post spam next round, possibly. That'll be really fun.
Doesn't have a ton of coins though, so a little short in that regard.
Oh yeah, you're right. He could build 3, but the 4th is gonna be tough. Also, 4 trading posts, I guess, kills his worker economy pretty bad.
Yeah, even 3 doesn't leave him with many trading posts. This is not quite enough to do a.
Well, this. I was gonna say this looks like the
3
problem.
and a hard dig could do it, right?
This looks like the problem I was saying earlier, though, right? Like, just Nomads had no natural yellows that they're getting to in, like, almost forever. I just can't believe they're gonna be competitive this game. Like, they need so many digs, and they don't have stronghold. They've never passed on the spade tile. Like,
I think also one thing is Nomads actually got a surprisingly small amount of leech for this map, based on how round 1 went and how like Jekyll upgraded the stronghold in that location. That's not the Nomad neighbor.
So Nerdcube looks like he's playing Culty. The first priest, like his first action was setting a priest off to water.
Yes.
That seems to imply that he doesn't care about Earth 1 and is looking for Water 1 right here.
well, and it also was an advanced ship. That's what's more interesting to me.
He'll advance his ship. He has 1,000,000 power. And he has a spade in hand. So now he doesn't want double dig, right? He actually wants to, or I mean, he might be able to get the priest action and double dig. But this buys him a cult spade.
I guess none of his opponents had power, basically, yeah. No, like, literally none of them did. Okay, never mind. He has pretty free reign on the power actions this round.
I think Nomad wants priest and workers. I think and he can build a lot. 1 ship, and he can build a lot. He can build like temple, trading post, temple, and then 3 dwellings, and then 2 trading posts. Maybe even 2 temples, depending on. I didn't quite count out his coin situation, but he can build a lot. He can build like 3 more dwellings and a lot of other things.
It looks like Nomads are missing out on Water 1.
But
that sanctuary happened.
Saying they're missing out, I think, is a slight stretch, since I don't think it was ever in their plans this round, right? I mean, I think they're just building 3 trading posts.
Yeah.
But,
for sure. I mean, their economy was not at the point where they could afford Water 1, is probably more accurate to say.
My opinion is Nomads are 4th. I just continue to not like what they have. Everybody else, I feel, is doing particularly interesting and has some real good future. I don't know about Nomads, but the rest of you can convince me otherwise.
No, I'm in line with you there. I think Nomads also started like second lowest in auction. Is that right?
They paid a lot, and yeah, I don't think anything went particularly great to justify that. As you said,
what do you think went wrong?
I wonder.
For Nomads.
Round one passing with tempo 2 dwellings is a little underwhelming.
Yeah, but I guess, was that foreseeable?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is that unexpected? Like, that engineers would get the double spade and, like, that Nomads wouldn't sell out for the single spade? Like, I don't think that any of that's unexpected.
Yeah, I agree. I think Nomads maybe were supposed to still do a stronghold opening. I don't know, though, if that's going to solve it. Maybe the starting location, like, is H5 doing them enough? Should they have just bet on C8? Because C8 does give them more, like, at least some shipping, some natural yellow dreams for quicker expansion. I don't know.
That's possible.
Also, we see Jekyll continue to play extremely aggressively toward engineers. This doesn't necessarily look like a town location, but it does look extremely disruptive.
That's true. It's not even like Jekyll still has like a network green that she needs to take, but she goes like, "No, I'm gonna take this B4 away first."
That's true. We all talked about how she was gonna rush I6 for connection, and now that's not what we see.
I mean, I think that Jekyll also realizes that Simon is never going to like. I mean, Simon does not play blocky at all, right? Simon is never going to be the one to like just dig away I6 or something.
I mean, Simon can't yet. I mean, once Simon has fully advanced digs, then you got to be afraid of it. But Simon's in no position to be like fully upgraded digs for at least another round. So
yeah, after making this sanctuary for sure.
Yep, and chat has pointed out this line by Nerdcube, going Water 1, potentially into Earth 1, which I think is what's going to happen here. I like that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Power action by Nerdcube, and then
yes.
doing another for Earth 1.
Yeah.
And
the priest of water, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, and Nerdcube will have a pretty easy town then next round too. Yeah, that's pretty nice. And then does Nerdcube get 2-key town then?
He might have the temple on it.
Want it.
Yeah, the only person that can grab it ahead is going to be Rafa, right? With Sanctuary into Fire 2, but that seems pretty weak.
Is Rafa? Because is Rafa gonna upgrade at E6? Like, or I guess he'd Fire 2 Sanctuary is what you're arguing. But yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, it seems pretty bad with Rafa's code positions, and yeah, I think Nerdcube is getting this 2-key.
I'm not convinced about Rafa burning down for the coins there. He's going to have great coin income after this round, and he kind of needs spades without like a great recon or the stronghold. I thought that was. I didn't expect Rafa to be the one to take coins this round.
That's a good call.
I guess my point.
Yeah, well, yeah, at least not burning down to 5 power tokens. You're right. That does, as I said, like how is he getting enough hexes this game, and that further complicates the answer. And the way he's played, he can't do an advanced dig game plan. Yeah, I don't know how Nomad's getting enough hexes.
To be fair, it's round 6 dwellings, right? Like maybe he just needs to score really well.
That's true.
Like if he can score really well, that could be it.
You just keep hitting the track, and then you just plop out some stuff late off of a bunch of shipping. Maybe.
I will say the person who's really hit the track and scored is Jekyll so far. Well, I guess they've scored equally, right? Nomad started with fewer victory points, so
yeah. Right.
So far they've scored equally, and Rafa is going to, essentially tie her in points by the end of this round. So, I mean,
Jekyll's economy is just Jekyll's economy is sweet. This has been a lot of undos though. What is this? Is this how you guys always play DeepFinesse? I haven't watched all the Premier League games.
Well, Simon's wasn't really a change of mind, so to speak. So that was more of a oops, he forgot that the stronghold was a requisite for the alchemist landscape.
Yeah, I agree. That one made a little more sense. This one from Jekyll just now, though, like it feels like building another trading post is what she wants to do, but
she might be considering whether to block Nerdcube's Earth 1. I think that's the other alternative here.
Oh yeah, a temple for Earth 1 herself. Yeah, that does make sense.
This is also a landscapes game, so a second temple isn't absurd for witches.
It just feels really economy. The economy difference here between building the trading post and building the temple is, yeah. Do you want 4 coins around, or do you want a priest? Like,
yeah. No, yeah, it really doesn't. Yeah. Especially since you already used her flight. So yeah, I'm not quite sure then what else there is to debate here. Could it be thinking about
considering just passing on to the dwellings tile?
Not in a trading post round, I don't think.
It doesn't. Yeah, I agree. That doesn't feel important enough. Like,
well, it also comes with a coins action.
Oh, it does come with a coins action. That makes some more sense. But I agree. This almost has to be considering Earth 1.
Yeah, no one's passing yet though. Nomad still has another trading post. Nerdcube has like 10 more moves. Simon still has a dwelling to build. Yeah, and a trading post.
That's a strong call. You're right. Nobody's gonna pass. So.
And it is the trading post.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we sorted that out.
think Nerdcube could just take worker power action here. He did build his trading post on D4 first, sort of like, I think also in anticipation of.
Oh, Jekyll is immediately punished for not taking Earth 1. I mean, if you consider that punishment, but.
I mean, Nerdcube clearly was going to snag Earth. Jekyll knew what she was doing, yeah.
Yeah.
Responding to chat quick, yes, Ghostly, I did. I've been in a kind of a Terra Mystica break, but I have decided to play in TM Tour again. So I don't even know what league I am in. Let's go find out. Oh, good, I'm back in D3. That's cool. Well, anyhow, that's an aside, but yeah, I did pop back in.
Oh, chat's pointed out another possibility here is that Jekyll might have trouble towning if she did that trading post. She might not have the resources to do her sanctuary town then.
Towning still feels like a slight stretch for Jekyll, right?
You mean without the TP build, she could probably manage it a lot easier.
Oh, but I see. Sanctuary for Fire 2 next round and build G4 with some sort of spade action.
Now she only has 6 workers. She could still do it, right? Sanctuary for Fire 2. She could still do it with Sanctuary and yeah, this is a dig. I think this is exact resources for a dig on the gray, and then Sanctuary for Air 1, followed by a trading post build.
I was about to say, why did Jekyll just convert all her power? But yeah, passed on to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that DeepFinesse is spot on here about Jekyll's plan. I think it's going to be open single dig, then Sanctuary for Air 1 probably, trading post G4, and then maybe fly to I6 or
fly to I6
G2
next.
if she wants to.
Yeah, I think it has to be I6 next round. I don't think you can get too much greedier.
Yeah,
like you're already on F3.
I mean, she could go D2.
Well,
continue to take those contested hexes.
You could, but is Jekyll gonna run out of hexes? I mean, H1, I2, G9, I6 are like all actually gonna be hers. Like, I guess. Is D2 even contested? Who's taking D2?
It's a connection hex for engineers.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It is a connection hex for engineers. But yeah, I mean, like I don't know that it does anything, and that also might be spreading her dwellings around too much at this point. If she really wants to go 3 towns still, because she needs like one more in the like A2 or C1. She needs like 3 more between G9, E9, and H8, and then she needs I6. Like D2 might be like one too many structures when she still has natural greens on the bottom left as well. So.
Yeah, so the other fun question is Jekyll hitting 3 towns this game, or is the stronghold like just not worth trying to bridge and dig enough?
I think it's worthwhile.
Witches, right? It's witches. It can't not be worth it.
There's a neighbor already.
It's mostly the number of digs, but I guess it really is only 4 digs for the 3 towns plus a bridge. She could probably get an air span at least, so yeah, and then a hard dig or 2 or something. Yeah.
I count 3 digs. No, C1, and then on the side.
Sorry, you're already counting. You're already counting G4 is done, but G4 is not done.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa! What just happened here? Oh my God! Someone lost a gray, or not a gray, but Nerdcube just lost B5.
Nerdcube. Oh, the connection hex on D2 now is very tempting for Jekyll. That's Rafa like asking Jekyll to take D2, but then Jekyll's risking I6. Like
this kind of came out of nowhere. Nerdcube must be feeling pretty annoyed right now.
I mean, it does actually make a lot of sense, right? Rafa gets up to 2 shipping, he can build A8, and now he can actually reach C8. Like he's finally actually hitting natural yellows this way.
That's true.
Nerdcube is going to connect this round. He's just gonna advance ship with a 5 power priest, convert 2 workers to coins, and then just build D2. I think that's probably the right move for Nerdcube, just because like. Fought this hard. I don't know.
Feels like
he still cares about connection.
I was gonna say that feels like that hurts his network a lot. That's painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. He
There-
just took the worker power action.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not.
Okay, I was gonna say like Nerdcube could build C3, E2, C1, and that's what he's doing, which also messes with Jekyll's
Yeah.
town. We said now Jekyll's now the number of digs that we were talking about has just increased.
Okay, yeah, now it's 5 digs.
But it's a lot more coins, right? Or she saved 6 coins. That might be better than saving 3 workers. Because she has neighbors
Well,
now.
yeah, I think she was always getting a neighbor, but yeah.
That's true. I guess A2, maybe you could always count an alchemist for that one. Maybe
Some-
not. Maybe alchemist never gets. Maybe
Well,
Rafa gets
but-
C4 as well, and then alchemists are cut off from
Engineers
West.
engineers were always gonna make it onto C1 if you let them or something. Like you could have taken C, like whatever. Anyhow, it's fine. But yeah, Jekyll's town in 3 towns becomes a little harder. Nomads are finally going to get somewhere, but I think economically nomads are still just too far behind.
Yeah, I've got a prediction now. I'm gonna.
The alchemists are the hardest for me to judge on how they're doing.
They're doing great on coats. But I'm gonna.
I want to hear the prediction.
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
predict.
you think witches have it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've got a good feeling about this.
Witch's
Alicia
game.
is going to open single spade next round. Like passing first to take single spade is one of the saddest things ever.
Yeah, that part is sad. Actually, I mean, the fight for double dig is actually hilarious. Nerdcube just gets double dig actions every round that he wants because witches and nomads can't take it, and alchemists aren't going to take it anymore either. They'll advance digs next round.
That is actually like very strong for engineers.
It's very strong. I agree. I just noticed that. But like engineers also have a silly number of cult digs this game. Like, yeah,
That's amazing.
I personally am going to say Nerdcube's winning this game. It's pretty spicy because I guess his network could get killed. Can he win this game without network? I'm going to boldly say that Nerdcube can win this game without network because he's going to win 1 million cult points too. I don't know. I'm not actually sure I'm certain about this, but that's the crazy take I'm going to go with.
That is pretty spicy.
Oh, hello chat. Yeah, no, there was time for one more Loki treat, but now you guys have used your 2 chances this stream, so you're all doomed now.
Jekyll's debating. Is she?
I mean, a
What
coins
is-
action is so good, but
It loses the town though this round.
sure. So I guess the question is, how good is it? A town this round is 5 points. Like, is it worth chasing a town? I don't know.
So
Probably.
coins action is like 3 points, or it's like 3 coins, right? Because you can otherwise just convert the power into
Yeah,
coins
I think
directly.
3 points. I think 3 points is pretty fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Depends on if she
chat,
thinks there's any town pressure
chat,
too.
chat is correct. Also, like, right? She could hard dig, and then try to free dwell in and use a priest to worker and still manage it all with a hard dig.
She's
maybe,
doing her own thing.
but it's just single dig does
Nah,
feel
this-
cleaner.
Yeah. Yeah. She just didn't want to do it because it felt so bad, but it was the right thing. Sometimes doing the thing that feels bad is correct.
Yeah. Also, is Nerdcube just getting the easiest coins action here? Also, like, what is this? I don't even know if he wants it, but probably.
No one has. Yeah, everyone's power is in shambles except for engineers who still have 10 power tokens. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I also like how tight Nerdcube is utilizing the cult rewards. He got his water dig on the 4th spot, and now he's gonna get his 2 earth digs on the 8th spot.
I agree. That's part of what I mean. Like, and he got 5 coins or something, or yeah, like Nerdcube's cult game has been really good on the rewards. It looks like it's going to be great for his points. That part of his game's gone very well.
All right, so on my side, what I see from here, from engineers, is they don't, like, their network is very, very iffy right now, right? Jekyll could just fly to D2. They are probably only getting 1 town this game. Am I wrong, or is it like, I guess they could like put 2 spades onto E3 or something, and then
they
like
have
do a cool bridge town?
They have a lot of spades. I'm not totally.
Yeah. That's fair. I guess usually on fjords, I'm more thinking natural grays than spades, but engineers do have a lot of cult spades coming in, and a ton of power to be fair. So, but yeah, like are they connecting? I guess like it is possible that connecting isn't important, but then you really do need like then towns become that much more important, right?
I am for sure flying to D2 as green. Like next move,
Yeah.
or like right before.
Yeah, there seems to be no other pressures now. So,
well, yeah, there is a slight danger in flying to C2. That is, Jekyll might run out of structures for the third town. But I think she has enough economy going, because like once you run out of dwellings at some point, that every extra dwelling is kind of like a tempo plus a trading post plus a dwelling.
Yeah, sorry, about this whole 3-town plan, doesn't Jekyll have to fire too, though? Like, we originally were talking about trading posts on G4, but she won't have enough trading posts in the right spots. That trading post on E5 is actually quite a hindrance.
Yes, I think you're totally right, and that is what she is not going for fire too.
So I just did a quick count. If Jekyll blocks D2, it is still, and then takes I6 and then makes 3 towns. I count 15 structures without, and that should be easily doable for witches, even out of landscape.
This is so like the fire 2 air 1 dynamic is pretty interesting. I've taken air 1 many times myself when I've gone back and looked at the game, and fire 2 was totally correct. And I think there's a good chance that it might be the case for Jekyll here.
I agree that I think Fire 2 is probably right, but it looks like only a 2-town game plan now, and so yeah, just Air 1 instead, which still should be pretty good, right? It's going to be less points, but not terribly less points.
Yeah, Air 1 is a lot of points at this stage, just like 10 points maybe. But I guess what you kind of have to weigh that against is if you take Fire 2 now, then you no longer have to build another temple. And so you save all that resources. You could probably get 10 points from that by like advancing dig or by fighting network.
Oh, yeah, actually, God, yeah, even the second town is horrendous here because the trading posts are all in the wrong spots.
Yeah, I think that actually, I did like Air 1, but I was wondering if maybe Jekyll should send a priest off to cult and then make a temple for Fire 2. That would free up more TPs for next round.
Yeah, because
and it gets her Fire 2 in her town.
Yeah, you essentially lost 3 points by building the trading post this round here instead of next round too. Yeah, this does feel pretty wrong.
Pointing that out in chat as well.
Oh, yeah, this feels pretty wrong compared to Fire 2. Also, are alchemists at least finally getting their stronghold here?
Has to be.
Yes, finally. Right. Well, not really. Round 4. Round 4 is a reasonable time. It's not.
Is it though? Alchemists.
It's clearly time.
I was gonna say Alchemists are at 17 and Jekyll's at 65. I'm a little concerned for Team Alchemist.
I think Simon is okay. Yeah, it's really kind of hard to judge how well Alchemist is doing because you're just not calibrated to. Are they supposed to have 10 points by the end of round 4, or 30, or 45? The gaps are just too large.
I completely agree. Alchemist pulls so many points out from. Yeah, it is hard to judge. Very hard to judge.
The track, if we go back to the round 2, round 3 track, it is not as favorable to Alchemists. I think what they prefer most of all on Fjords is round 2 dwelling scoring and build like 4 dwellings. That's their dream.
Yeah, no, I agree. The track's been a little tough for Alchemists. They really haven't got many track points, and so yeah, that's.
But that will change. That's going to change a lot.
Well, sure, but engineers are going to get a silly number of track points too, right? Like I don't know how much of an edge alchemists have, and Nerdcube's also going to have a silly amount of points here with this town and taking 2
Speaking of which,
town.
Nerdcube is finally getting in on the undo action. Decided on the 2 keys over the 8-pointer.
No, he took 2 keys anyhow, right? Or
no,
he had an 8-pointer.
Oh well, that's gross. Yeah, that's. Just take the don't muck around. Take the 2 key. Good man.
and which is have secured or have security cut off.
Oh yeah, D2 though.
There's still a chance. There's still a chance at C4, especially with the double spade coming in from the Colts.
Yeah. Actually,
Worth it.
Nerdcube can just triple dig C4 probably to connect.
I think it's worth
And
it.
poor Rafa can't cut him off anymore because because Jekyll blocked the single spade.
I'm excited. I'm excited. This is a cool town with 3 bridges. No, with the engineer's landscape on C4.
Oh my god. That
Man, you're talking about C4 and A5.
Yeah, C4, A5, and then 3 bridges. Oh, Nerdcube, pull through for us. Oh my god.
I'm excited. I think it's happening. It might not be great, but.
All right, I'm fully on board with my Nerdcube's winning this game call now. Nerdcube has Earth 1, Water 1. He's going to hit the track stupidly hard these next 2 rounds. He has 1 million resources. He's winning the cults. I don't even care if he gets network points. I just think all these trading posts and all these dwellings are going to be sick.
I don't hate the take.
Can even pass now, right? He can pass now to prepare to first action dig C4.
Oh, yeah, and he can pass for the trading post tile. Oh, look at that.
Wow. Oh, wait, it's Jekyll passing?
Oh, that...
No,
I mean,
Nerdcube passes first. Oh, that's amazing. A pass onto the trading post tile, and then open double dig on C4 and somewhere else.
Yeah, drop landscape on C4, yeah.
And drop landscape. Yeah, open the double dig C4 and D6, perhaps.
Yeah.
And, oh no, Nomad.
Yeah, I love D6.
Oh, but Nomads might D6 with their cult dig. Oh yeah, that's a little annoying. I guess you just take A9 as engineers, and you eventually.
And now
ship
what do you turn C4 into? You can't turn C4 red because Nomads are gonna. You have to turn C4 blue now and open double dig on C4. Because Nomads, if you turn C4 red, that's actually a town for Nomads.
Oh, and Nomads. Yeah, well, Nomads. Oh, and Nomads did pass first for the trading post tile. Okay, that's a bit of a yeah.
But the cult. So Nerdcube still has to pass here because he has to turn C4 blue, and then he has to dig it ahead of witches, so he has to pass ahead of witches.
Yeah,
I just realized that Raphael did not form a town this round. That seems a little shaky.
His whole I think his game's still shaky, although I guess his economy is pretty sorted, right? He's earning.
Yeah, he figured out his economy, which actually is kind of like the key, like the real route, because like there's a ton of scoring coming up. Like most of those town points are going to come from like there's a sanctuary, sure, and you can do sanctuary for fire too, but like all these TPs are still going to score points. He's on the trading post
Nomads.
tile.
Yeah, Nomads really want C4 for a bridge town, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they really want that town. I think that
So does
Nerdcube
Nerdcube
at this point maybe should just give it to them.
Yeah, maybe Nerdcube should just give up on connection.
Nerdcube is probably considering the triple dig right now. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
And he does
The
do
other
it.
option.
Yeah,
It's on.
that was the other.
dig.
It was the other option. Yeah.
And landscape, and then he could take a bridge this turn and build on A5.
Yeah, we'll see if he's up for the insane town.
No man, Nerdcube is a person of style. He's not gonna be able to resist.
He can't resist the allure of this. Yeah, he can't. He did it. All right.
It might be the correct play, but even if it's not the correct play, I don't think he's going to be able to resist it.
I agree. I don't want to live in a world where it's not the correct play. This is.
The cultured move.
Look, if he makes a town this cool, you may have won the Premier League according to the rules, but according to my heart, Nerdcube will win.
It is really cool. It does also shut Simon completely out of the West. That is a little sad for Team Alchemists.
Oh yeah, that's
I see a very, very heavy dig town coming through I5, I4, I3, I2. I mean, we'll see if Simon's work recon can handle it.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, Alchemist I already thought had points issues, but the fact they're not getting any more natural blacks and they don't really have that many cheap hexes to even dig and build on, I think Alchemist have network problems. I think they have points problems.
Yeah.
They don't even have an obvious second town. Like, Raphael's going to get onto I7 at some point, but they don't really have neighbors for that. And I guess Witcher will be on G9 eventually.
Jekyll takes I6. Probably G9. I mean, Alchemist will get a town in the bottom right, but that's one more town. They're at 21 points. Like, it's a big problem.
Bit of an issue.
I guess they pass. They hit 30. Nerdcube is only at 48. Maybe it's not as bad.
Oh, Jekyll is considering bridging here. Jekyll could bridge G9 right now.
And build too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because she can do priest plus the she could use like all of her stuff. Oh, she doesn't though.
Taking big
He's gonna
building
pass her
time.
big building pile.
I mean, that seems that's really hard to ignore though.
Yeah, and she also converted everything, so she's just saying that Raphael's taking coins. Is Raphael taking coins? I guess he is.
Yeah, I'd say that's most likely.
Be pretty surprising for Nomads to not take coins.
I think it has to be coins. Also, this Jekyll is getting leech on A5.
Yes, I think that is part of the plan. Because Nerdcube wouldn't mind putting another dwelling out.
Yeah,
and he has
A5 should get built.
Yeah, he has to do the bridges anyway, and might as well take one now with power.
Yeah. I think Nerdcube's like guaranteedly going to A5 here. Yeah, I'd be really shocked if that's not just instantly like the next couple moves. Yeah, then there it's.
I think in retrospect, the Jekyll's hard dig on E4 was really great. E4 is like a surprisingly important hex for alchemists with many of the game plans.
Yeah.
Like many times alchemists just like do the shipping start, and the two towns they build are I1, that, and then I2 going up. And like build two towns there at the end, either side of the river on the left, and just ignore all their stranded structures on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also something to be said about the fact that E4 connects to C2 without like an awkward dig on C3 or something. Because otherwise, like, you would need a double dig hex or like a random hex like B3 in order to connect. But this was part of her town and connected to her other town. It's really nice.
Yes. That was such a great move, and it was on a dig round. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Nerdcube's economy is going really strong. Like, where did all these coins come from? He has no trading post up, but he still has 11 coins to spare.
Yeah, I mean, he got to, again, I mean, this is a little bit of, again, he got to pass onto that coins tile early for some extra coins. He got a coins action when nobody else could take it. And then he's also just got
the coins out right now.
Correct, and he's just got so much power. Like, he's converted a decent amount. And he got 5 coins off the call track. Wow, and he passes for the spade instead of the ship tile. He's just still, that's probably correct, I guess. More economy is just going to be worth more points to him than the ship.
He's really fighting network. Does he think that he can beat Alchemists on network or something? Like, is that what I'm seeing here?
I don't think Alchemists are the threat, right? I mean, Alchemists have no more natural blacks they're getting to. Like, I don't think Alchemists are that frightening on network this game. Maybe I'm the crazy one.
Fighting. Yeah, it might be like a hedge against getting his own hexes dug, right? Like, because, like, honestly, I'm not sure that,
21 workers, though. They have 12 right now, 9 more incoming. They can do, how much can they do with 21 workers? They can build all their structures, right? And they have, like,
Can they? That's not enough.
6 or 7. I'm sorry. I'm ignoring the 2 temples.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. So they end with 2 temples on their board, but Nerdcube can also definitely end with just both his big buildings on his board. Like, that's not a problem at all.
That's for sure. That's yes, he has much more than that.
He's probably not going to end with both of them on his board. There's probably a stronghold coming in round 6, right?
Maybe this round. This
We'll
round. Oh, this round is a stronghold round. He's got to do it, right?
I mean, he's
It's a
not
training
gonna have
round.
he's not gonna have that many bridges. Like he doesn't have that many workers. There are some problems here.
You have 2 bridges. Is that that might be enough for it to put up a stronghold now instead of round 6?
You don't pass on to the spade to not play economically this round, though.
I'd be surprised if stronghold comes this round. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he wants to build out some more. Like he's building up and out this round, which is awesome. This is actually like, could this be 3 towns? No, it can't be 3 towns because that'd be another bridge from C1 to E1. So there's already 3 towns tied up by 1. Yeah.
That's a lot of bridge action. Witches are going to have to fight for that. Oh,
Witches aren't getting 3 towns, right? I still don't even know if they're getting 2 towns, but
this is unfortunate for witches. The extra power that Jekyll got, but now she couldn't get the coin power action because nomads actually took bridge instead of coin.
Oh, that's true. Wow, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. We were saying that Jekyll, treated it as if the coins were a foregone conclusion. And this is kind of like one of like the small taxes of the fact that she took that coins action round 2, right? Like normally you would never she just left her open to taking maybe 1 extra leech or something, and she got the extra leech, but she's missing out on like the coins action, which is I think Simon's going to take that now, right? Like
being at 4 power tokens is rough, but yeah, I think Simon very well should just save his points here and probably take the coins if they come to him, but we'll see.
I think this is kind of an unlucky read by Jekyll. I wasn't expecting Rafa to put his dig on B6, which then necessitated the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I
think Jekyll can still get coins this round, actually. I think Simon might want a double spade, because Simon has yet to advance his digs.
Well, Simon
really wants to place it.
Simon partially advanced his dig. Simon clearly will just advance his dig this round, I think. I would be... I mean, maybe...
Well, he wants to drop a landscape, right? So, like, how's he dropping the landscape? Is he 2 worker digging, or is he using Act 6?
Oh, does he care about saving a... Does he care about saving a priest?
I think it's more economical overall when you do, like, you save a priest that's also a worker, so it's sort of equivalent to you save a priest and you lose a worker.
Ah, good. He takes the coins. I agree with this plan.
Okay, yeah.
This is my...
I think that punishing Jekyll is probably a little more important there than yeah.
Well, and Simon will probably just get enough power for a work. Well, he'll almost certainly get workers action. Who's taking a workers action on him here? Like Simon will he'll advance dig. And, yeah, he'll. Well,
Nerdkeep could definitely take a workers
actually
action.
That's true. Nerdkeep could use workers. That's a decent call.
I do like that bridge by Raphael, though. It kind of threw the table into disarray, and obviously it's quite good for him. So. 3 towns looks like it's on track for nomads. They'll need Fire 2 in the final round, but it looks like no one else will want Fire 2 really.
Oh yeah.
I mean, witches like engineers. The engineers will never want Fire 2.
There's no fire.
We don't know about witches or.
There's no Fire 2 pressure. Like alchemists aren't taking Fire 2 either. I don't think.
Well, I mean, the dig on I5 does seem to say that they might try carving there. We don't know if that's actually true.
I5 is amazing. I missed that until now. I love this.
Yeah. It was a cult dig, yeah, but
Wow, this is amazing. That is his 2 towns, right? I think Simon does have enough to do that. I'm not sure if he's going to end up with enough points, but
that's a lot of digging. Call me dubious on that plan, but we'll see.
But it's certainly dubious, but it's cool. It's cool, right?
It's
and
cool.
Also, and to be fair, it gives you access to natural blacks.
Well, I will grant, it does really help his dwelling locations next round, and importantly, it does give him a good spot to put trading posts this round. His real issue is that he can't upgrade. He can't put trading posts where he wants them for towns.
That's true. He needs to build all his trading posts this round to like make any sense.
Yeah.
Chat is noticing that a dig is a dig, so that's a good observation by chat.
Yeah, they've provided some excellent tautologies. It's really good of them.
There's a landscape and a dig increase.
Nice.
Yep.
Simon does have 3 extra priests this round, right? Or is it 2? Two extra priests. So he has 10 workers to work with. Plus the work power action, 12 workers. How far is that going to get him along the I-file?
Not that far, because he really wants to build trading posts. Like,
yeah, like every step he goes is actually dwelling trading posts, and then dig, dwelling trading posts.
I was about to say, and it's a little like I don't think Jekyll can afford. Well, actually, Jekyll needs to fly to I6, right? Alchemists have fully advanced digging now. Like, we've floated this connection a little long.
Yes.
Jekyll is refusing to give into your give into your demands here.
That cult dig from Alchemist could have been just to turn I6 a different color.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that would also yeah, but Alchemist kind of needed to dig out his tempo anyway, because I'm thinking that Simon might have preferred to put the
I'm saying the cult. Oh, you think? I'm just saying the cult dig on I5. Actually, like I maybe would have meddled with I6, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because it only takes one dig to mess with wishes, and then they can't reach there ananymore until
and Jekyll doesn't fly there. If I'm Simon, I feel like I'm at least turning I6 blue here. Like even if I don't want to build on it, like I don't know. That's such an amount of meddling that you offer yourself. I'm actually really surprised that Jekyll...
I said, Simon's not a blocky player, right? There's no real reason why he couldn't have just dug I6 instead of I5, but I think that he's just naturally not a very blocky player. And I think that might have been just like he might just continue to leave that hex until he has built all of his stuff, built all of his trading posts, then take a look, and then maybe be like, it's still there, maybe I'll turn it blue.
It is painful for Simon to use a worker, but gosh, it also just feels crazy risky though. Like, Jekyll doesn't need to make a trading post that move. Like, I don't know why you save the flight, but yeah, Simon just takes workers.
One thing to consider is that Jekyll only has one structure in the east. If she loses that, she can just I mean,
I have thought about that. Jekyll can just abandon it, but
there's H1, there's I2. If she if she focuses this round on trying to get that town, maybe she's gonna build probably Temple for Fire 2 or something, and Water 2 or something.
I guess the other argument is actually, I mean, is Jekyll in this network race? If we're thinking Engineers and Alchemists are getting down to 2 things left on their board, Witches are not in this network fight, right?
Yeah, and that's what DeepFinesse was saying at the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
Witches are gonna go for their. No, that's just a hex. That just looks like a hex.
I think it's Witches potentially giving themselves 2 town outs, or 2 more towns on top of the one they already have. I agree. I think this is Witches just saying, I'm not fighting network.
Oh, and
but
Simon...
they can't possibly make that count, right? Simon is...
Simon loves... Yeah, Simon loves having a neighbor. Yeah, no, Jekyll's definitely only getting 1 more town, and Jekyll's not getting network, and Jekyll doesn't have much towns. So I think the Witches winning the game thing is looking premature.
DeepFinesse, how do you answer to that?
Yeah, the Witches landscape prerequisite is going to be a pain here. I don't think it's really likely that Jekyll will be able to put out 2 more temples. Well, she does have a ton of resources, and to get down to 3 structures, she only needs 8 workers, and how many coins? 16 coins, and she kind of has all of that this turn already.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
Jekyll should have like a massive network game, so I don't understand
she-
G9 that much.
Yeah, I was gonna say then she needs I6 and not G9. So
Yeah.
G9 does just look kind to alchemists because they finally got the neighbor they wanted.
That is, yes. Hopefully, Jekyll has also realized that she needs to pivot away from network.
Which is paying for shipping is also just painful too, right? That's the other thing that we haven't been adding into this cost. Like 3 shipping is still.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, she only has up until this point she's only had 1 priest production. Now she has 2 priest production. She would need all her priests for shipping.
And just the coins.
It's water too.
Yeah, it's not even fire too. Yeah.
Okay. This looks pretty painful for Jekyll. Though, I mean, she's in the points lead. She has Air 1. She's going to get 6 more points for next trading post. She's passing for 12. She has another town coming in with a Witch's ability.
She has a lot of points. She has a decent amount of cult points. I agree. She's actually still in the game. But
yeah,
I don't know by how much.
It's definitely looking very dicey. The end game.
Yeah.
Boring.
I think
Nomads, by the way, have just refused to build I7. I think that's like maybe just some sort of like trying to deny the neighbor, and then Jekyll maybe was just like, hey, I'll take your free leech, and then she built G9. Because Nomads seem to be like pretty intent on denying that I7 spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Ryan, you were saying how you were unhappy about Nomads not hitting natural yellows, but they've been at 2 ship for a long time, and they just have floated I7. So
yeah, well, they got to the natural yellows they needed to off A8, C8 stuff. Like they at least did get to expand, and that really helped their economy.
This is a pretty
what? Wait a sec. When did Rafa not set up for? How is Rafa getting his 3 towns? What is this game?
I was a little surprised at this. I was expecting Fire 2 coming here, but I guess it's Air 1.
Man, Raphael looks like
What's
he
that
could really
bridge
use.
for?
Oh, he has a cult spade. He has a cult spade.
It doesn't matter. What's that bridge for? Like, there's no he doesn't have enough trading posts for his town.
Fire 2 is coming in.
Yeah, Deragned still explained. There's not enough trading posts. Like, he's gonna have to build 2 more temples, or he's gonna have to build a stronghold. Like, this does not compute.
I'm enjoying this meltdown.
That is true. He did run out of trading posts for the upper right.
I mean, if you're gonna fire 2, you can't build a 7-power town here. Like, I don't understand. It just seems like such a easy mistake to avoid at this level of play. Like, I'm really confused actually.
What are we seeing here?
I'm trying to see how many more structures Nomads can put out. Temple, trading posts, 3 dwellings.
This could be 2 more 3-power, 7-power towns. Is that insane?
No, I don't.
It could be a temple. Temple on H6, then stronghold on C8, then a trading post on C7. Then I guess you need 3 more dwellings, but that would only be that'd be 3 more dwellings.
Well,
so if he leaves 2 stuff on his board.
Temple and 2 more dwellings out, right? That's like 4 power across the structures that he's putting out. And on the board for the towns, he has 5, 6, 7. So that adds up only to 11. So get to 12. To get to 12, he has to do another temple, but then I think he will have to do what Ranior is saying.
5 would be needed anyway.
2 more temples, 2 more trading posts, and I don't think he has quite enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think Temple Fire 2 is completely necessary, and so like you don't.
Yeah.
The only advantage to putting the trading post there is you get your town this round, but he took a 1-step cult town that's. Oh, it does get him a spade. Okay, it gets him a spade at least.
Yeah, no, actually he can bridge. He can bridge to A9. That is one way to salvage the town.
No, that's cool.
Wow, how much bridge pressure? I guess, Jekyll doesn't actually want to bridge, so. Whatever. I'll just let him play his game. We'll see how it goes, and I'll stop worrying about it. That'll be better for my And
I like bridge to A9 though, because he's looking at Nerd Cube's cool town with 3 bridges, and he's like, I gotta match that somehow with my dwelling
That's true.
town.
That's true.
Yeah,
That is a strong consideration at this point.
Versus 3 bridges and 3 trading posts and landscape.
that's true. We really are just competing for coolest town, and Nerdcube has a real high, like a real big edge right now. It looks like.
One thing about Nerdcube's game is he's almost finished building, but he's only at 67.
Yeah,
Is that a problem?
It kind of is. I agree. I've been starting to get a little nervous this round. I'm like, he's not on a pass tile for points. He just built his last trading post. Yeah, he's at 73. He has 1 town. He's done really good, I think, in securing some endgame points. He has great, he has pretty good cults, and he has.
He will have a pass tile. He's guaranteed a pass tile.
Yeah, and I mean, he should have like a tie for the network win, I think. But Nerdkeep's points are very worrisome.
Yeah, because
he's passed for 0 in this game.
Yeah, you're right, Deranged, but yeah, that's wild in a game with all 4 pass tiles and your engineers. Like, yeah.
Because usually engineers can jump to like 70 to like 120, 130, but like that's usually on the back of a round 6 trading post, for example, where they build 4 trading posts and score 24 points.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but those trading posts are all built now.
He's only gonna get 2 or 3 dwellings. I agree. He has like 6 round points, maybe. I don't know, 9 favorite tile points. Maybe a stronghold is 9, another pass, a ship advance. I mean, I guess he still can probably pull like 40, so he gets to 110 and then has network and cults. Like, that's pretty good, but is
like a 140 type of game?
I was gonna say that's 130s, 140s. Is anybody this game not at least a threat to be 130s at this point? Like, despite me haranguing and trying to claim nomads were out of the game, I'm like mildly like, maybe Rafa is gonna prove me wrong and still make 2 towns here and do something on network. Maybe that's probably giving him too much credit.
So I mean, don't look now, but Alchemists they are going to win network, right? They're actually their worker situation is not great, but
I still think they might.
I see like.
I was gonna say, I think
They might
Nerdcube.
tie network.
I was gonna say Nerdcube might get down to 1 structure. Why? Like Nerdcube's building his dwellings here. Like, why can Nerdcube not go stronghold, trading post, and dwellings and be left with just a sanctuary off his board? I think that's like very doable.
That's a fair point. Fair point.
I think the fact that Nerdcube just built another dwelling is like really indicative that he plans to try to do this stronghold trading post, build 1 dwelling, and or like build all of his dwellings and end with only 1 thing on his board.
Yeah, agreed. He also has 2 grays ready to build if no one touches them.
He doesn't have a cold spade. Okay.
Jekyll has 0 shipping, so I think that one's pretty safe.
Yeah, and Jekyll needs to put her 2 code space onto her town on the upper left.
Yep.
One small awkward point is that Nerdcube actually prefers the dwelling pass tile, but is not going to outlast Simon here.
Yeah, Simon. Oh, well, nope, he is.
No, because
Simon could have got denied. Simon has to secure the pass points.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That is very friendly to both of them because like Nerdcube does not really want the big building tile there.
Big guy Simon, always does the right thing.
Unless, did Nerdcube need more workers?
For bridge, yes.
I was gonna say Nerdcube needs bridges, and we're scribing that he wants stronghold trading post 2 dwellings next round. So
he needs.
And he's not going to need workers action, right? I mean, he could convert his 9 power right now to 3 workers and pass. That would make his economy look pretty nice, right?
That's and actually that's what he's doing, right? Or no, he took the priest power
he's
action.
kind of doing that. It's a flexible way of doing that.
That's true.
He's converting.
Yeah.
Oh no, but he's sending it for code points.
It makes sense to get a priest to fire too, and he still next round can use. Oh no, he really can't use a priest for. Well, he could use 1 priest as a worker, but he does need another ship advance still.
Yeah, at least 1, probably 2, so he doesn't have to do any more digging. I think
there's probably a worker town coming in as well, right? Nerdcube is going to take a worker town.
I think that's going. He's going to manage that way. He can do 2 bridges first, and then Worker Town, and then build his stronghold at Worker Town.
Ah, yeah. All right, so yeah, I was saying alchemists were out of this, but if alchemists are getting the town in the final round, and it's probably too late, but is it?
Alchemists
Well,
looked dominant on cults before, right? Like they were winning 2 cults with like the first
Maybe
priest of fire
I
and
was
the
gonna
first
say,
priest of
yeah.
air. But
I don't know, and maybe DeepFinesse was right. Maybe I was being too sour on the witches. Even with witches, like they're just gonna lead in the direct points by quite a lot. Like they're getting another town, they're getting air 1 points, they're getting their pass points. Like Jekyll's gonna be at like 120 to 130 directly.
and she also has 12 points on the cults. She's played quite a nice culty game for opening with the stronghold.
Yeah.
Yeah, not ever having to upgrade her shipping has worked out nicely, and she can like do dig advances or whatever she wants instead.
do we have the 2 Nomads Town coming in with Worker Town? Is that enough? Rafa needs dwelling.
Wait a sec. How is Jekyll getting this town though? Did we discuss this? Oh, I guess
You're allowed to.
I guess just another temple and then another trading post.
It is pretty
Or
awkward.
temple for fire too this time, right?
or yeah, I mean, it could just be the Fire 2 temple, yeah.
She'll finally take fire too.
Oh, and wait, she did take I6 there at the start of this round, though? Yeah, okay, so she's at least giving herself options.
Oh, Fire 2 also allows her to put down her landscape.
Yeah, exactly.
So she gets down to 2 structures, a trading post and a temple. Alchemists get down to 2 structures, but Nurkic gets down to 1 structure.
Yeah. But there's no way Jekyll is... Well, Jekyll could take a ship town and pay for 2 ship advances?
Can't you just take a priest town? Or are there any
Yeah,
priest
she
towns
has
left?
enough coins. She needs
Oh,
3
there's
ships.
priest towns left, yeah.
Oh, she needs 3 ship, a temple, and 3 dwellings, and also a hard dig for the landscape.
It's a lot.
So,
But with a shipping
yeah,
town...
no,
with a shipping town...
Had...
Yeah, with a ship town, actually, that math works out, right? Oh, but she takes a priest.
She took a priest. She could take a coin town now instead, which is a little better. Maybe not a lot better, but a little better.
It's pretty equivalent,
I
FG.
count 20.
Gives her options at least, right? Now she can go for either of those towns in case like nomads. I mean, nomads might take like the ship town or something.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
There goes I7. Raphael floated for a long time and now it's gone. Looks like he didn't have like the free dwelling to like place there. That's actually the reasoning.
Yeah,
not so much trying to deny a neighbor.
Kind of hurts Raphael, right? Or I guess maybe not. Rafa's gonna just end with 3 structures. How is I'm still not sure how
Rafa
Rafa's...
doesn't have anywhere to place.
Yeah, actually, I still
Rafa didn't have anywhere to place, right? So,
still haven't figured out how Rafa's getting these towns either. Now that I say that, so whatever.
He's managed it. I think he's managed it with a worker town. He's got temple, trading post. He's got 1 temple, 2 trading posts, and 2 dwellings to build. That's 8 workers. That's 8 workers and 15 coins. He has the 15 coins. He just needs 2 workers from the first town.
Yeah, and then he takes a ship town or a coin town and advances ship for his final stuff.
Yeah, but he is going to
first points rather. Yeah,
he is going to be behind on network by a bit. Well, no, he can get down to 2 structures. Maybe no, he can't because he's gonna lose. Yeah, I think Rafa's gonna be stuck on 3 structures.
I agree. I think Rafa's still kind of just doomed. I think he's gonna take 4th this game.
Yeah, even with 2 towns, his code position is like pretty poor, and with no code points, with no network points, he's not gonna make it.
Yeah, I think Rafa's 120s, maybe even upper 110s or something. So I think everybody else is gonna break 130.
Can Simon get down to one structure?
Maybe
only 10 workers.
Simon does have. So I was gonna say Simon does have 15 workers, so I should never doubt the crazy alchemists.
It was
Not
two
crazy, it's
temples
like
to open, you know? It's
alchemist
like two
thing.
temples to open is always just wild.
Nerdcube has completed the crazy town. He's done it. That crazy son of a gun.
He has done it. Which town did he take? Was it a worker? It was
Cult
a
town.
cult town.
It was the other 8
Oh.
point. Yeah, cult town.
He's swimming in better resources, isn't he?
Yeah, I
He's
think
gonna use priests as a. He's gonna use one priest as a worker. I think that he'll be okay as long as he can find a place to single spade, which between H7 and A9, I think that he has a spot to single spade. Even double spade, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, but that's only if someone takes his grade, right? Because he does have enough for 2 more ship increases.
yeah.
Are there 2 grays open?
F6 and
I only see
E1.
1 gray open. He has a dwelling on his board.
E1 and F6.
Oh, F6 is reachable by shipping. I just never see that C4 hex built, so I'm not aware that F6 is reachable.
Yeah, it's, to be fair, it doesn't look really gray there. It looks like a hodgepodge of colors.
It is very weird. But I don't know, right? Like Nerdcube could also just single dig like somewhere else, and that priest of fire seems worthwhile.
Oh, Fire X has a new rule in chat that I like. 2 VP per undo for season 4.
I agree. This game's been pretty undoing, which is intriguing. Yeah, it's not usually like that. I'm ready for that once we make the Agricola League also, yeah. I'm all good.
Simon is furiously trying to figure out if he can make this town here. I have to imagine that there's a lot of calculation going on right now. Fire 2 is very worthwhile.
Third one?
Yeah. Third one.
Yeah, I think there's so many digs though. Oh my god.
It's a lot of digs. But he gets a worker town? Maybe it's doable. It's a lot of freaking digs.
Well, no, actually it's 6 digs. And he has 12 workers. He needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He only needs 9 more workers to build his stuff. He can totally do it. And 6 digs is not actually 6 workers, it's 4 workers. So he needs 4 plus 9, 13 workers. He's got plenty.
Yeah, no, I mean...
He can totally do it. We are cleaving through the high file.
Yeah, no, you're right. Wow. Okay.
It's amazing.
That's...
unfortunate.
So he is going to end with only 1 structure also. Wow. So yeah, he's going to tie Nerdcube on network. Wow. Okay, so the alchemists are still in it too? I don't... this game.
He's going to score along the way too. It's pretty amazing. Only there were edge scoring for alchemists.
Yeah, he's really not... That's true. He's really not... He doesn't really have any coin conversions left to do this game either. He needs 15 coins. I mean, maybe 1 or 2, but... He's also doing enough digging, and he probably has enough workers that, he probably never mind, he probably is fully, it's good. Air 3 instead of Fire 3, that's...
Well, with Alchemist still taking Fire 2, and there's still a priest spot open on Fire, so I can see the rationale there.
Okay.
Yeah, Ruff also has I guess he's keeping it for shipping. That makes sense because he's on the ship score time.
Yeah. Well, no, Rafa needs that priest as a worker in order for this town. He has to build a trading post. Well, he needs another dwelling on H3 still, too.
He needs 4 workers, but that's solved by the worker town.
Okay, yeah.
Loading this worker town seems a little iffy from Rafa, given that worker town could go, right?
Well, there's two of them there though. Like
I guess Jekyll's never taking one, right?
But the danger for Simon is that Jekyll gets to I2 first by increasing ship and building, because Simon has to like.
Oh, you're right.
So many things before he can get there.
You're right. Jekyll probably can get to I3 first, or I2 first. Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That is so unfortunate for Simon.
That's actually a big.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's a big blow for Alchemist chances. If they could 3-town here, that's something. But they're not going to be able to. Yeah.
Wait, no, but
You guys, Simon spent so much time not blocking.
No, never mind. He can reach there first. I think I have it the wrong way because Simon does have 2 dwellings now. That's he just freed up a dwelling so he can build 2 dwellings and he can take the green to black. Then he's safe.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. Just digging it should be enough.
That's a good call.
But if Jekyll takes a ship to... Oh, she needs 3 ship. Okay, so Jekyll is 1, 2, 3, 4 actions away at best. Okay.
Well, no, but Jekyll could ship town right now, right? Although Simon still.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that would still be 2 ship advances and 2 dwellings.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is it's still Jekyll's turn. She's picking a town right now, so she picks a ship advance. Then she's, or no,
Simon digs. She advances ship.
Yeah,
Simon digs.
Simon is still there first.
Logus is pointing out a line. So Logus is pointing out a line in chat that if she takes a ship town and advances ship, she could put her landscape on G2, and she skips one of those actions. She could actually beat Simon.
Amazing. That is totally the line.
If that actually happens, that would be pretty
Logus
amazing.
with the clutch line. I think it is because Nico wants to go to 2 structures.
We talked about her saying that she needed the ship town anyhow. Yeah.
Yes. So that well, no, she could take ship town or coins town. But for tempo considerations, she has to go ship town now, hard dig G2, put down the dwelling, and beat Simon to I2. This is so amazing.
Yeah. We'll see if she catches
She's thinking really hard about this one too.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty important because the whole network thing for Jekyll involves getting I2. Although, how much points is Jekyll getting for network? I guess that's what she's calculating, right? Even if she gets down to 2 structures, that's really not going to matter here, except for nomads.
It's 3 points. No, well, it's somewhat worth about I guess 4 points. Building the dwelling, but spending the resources is worth 1 point because she doesn't have Earth 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe she was better off just taking an 11-pointer there and just skipping all this network considerations.
Well, I mean, oh yeah. Sorry, she's not on the ship tile. That's fair. But she just does take the coin town. So Simon is going to get that
true.
Town.
Also, I'm liking the 11-pointer even more now because she kind of has to build a trading post. Well, not have to, but she gets so many points by building a trading post that 5 points. Or 6
yeah,
points.
I think the 11-pointer. I think this connection plan is ill-fated because Alchemists and Engineers are going to get down to 1 structure, so it's just not worth fighting these network points, especially against nomads who you're not afraid of.
Yeah.
There's also a point where Jekyll doesn't have Earth 1, so like building those dwellings is less attractive to her than for others. I mean, they still score a point in resources each, but
yeah, but
it's not quite as exciting.
Yeah, as DeepFinesse is noting, I mean that's a 6-point trading post too. That's because of the pass tile and air 1 and water 1. Like it's so
the trading post has to happen.
Yeah, I like the proposed 11-pointer town better now. You just kind of have to give up on network here, I think. Maybe she's not expecting I2 to go. Like maybe she's not thinking that Simon is going to build a town there, but he totally can.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Simon maybe isn't paying attention to it either. Simon could mess up and not rush to I2.
No, Simon's coming all the way to I2.
Simon's not making any mistakes now. The thinking time is over.
Yeah, I mean, I think Simon does know what he's up to, yeah. But
yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize we were playing at normal speed today.
Yeah, they did have extra time. Nerdkeep still hasn't committed to where this last dwelling is going. I don't know if he's actually going for F6 or if he's just relying on taking single dig at some point this round.
Can he afford to? He needs 3 ship to build F6. It seems pretty bold to assume that hex will still be there.
That's what I mean. I agree. I think it's too risky. I think he needs to just single dig like A9.
Yeah. I think that's what we probably see here.
He only actually needs
Ghostly.
8 power.
Ghostly saying that we have to void the game. It's supposed to be on a fast timer. We get to yell at them all now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You know what? All these players are disqualified. I think DeepFinesse should win this season.
We're gonna replay.
Are you
We
looking
get
at
one
this?
more game.
I was gonna say, are you looking at this town by Nerdcube though? How can we disqualify him?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This is a
Well,
thing.
we'll give him the leeway for forming that town.
This is a thing of unique beauty.
Okay, so at this point, who do we like to win? Simon?
I don't even know anymore, honestly.
I think Cube has too many endgame points.
I think Cube too. I mean, he's
He
passing
was
for
passing for 1 million.
He's passing for 17. He's 110 plus a bunch of endgame points. A little more than 110, like 115, and then good cult points is 130. Ties for network 145-ish, maybe 150. That seems winning.
He has a ton of endgame points. It's scary. I think he's actually winning like reasonably comfortably.
I think so too. The more I'm looking at it, I don't. Jekyll has not all that much. Well, Jekyll's gonna not be that far away, right? Within 10-ish.
7. It's got 12, 15. Yeah. And there's the single dig.
Yep, he does just build on A9,
Yep.
and they'll just advance ship.
It's a pity he was only 1 coin away from advancing ship twice, and still having the resources to single dig plus dwelling if someone stops him. But
I wonder if sending a priest of fire was better there for Nerdcube.
Yeah, I mean, we keep assuming Simon is taking fire too, so I kind of get why he's not worried about it.
but sure,
Yeah,
he's
but
taking
Nomads also haven't. Oh, Nomads can't do that because they want to advance their ship. But there's a ship. There are 2 ship towns, right? So Nomads could have sent their priests to fire.
Oh, yeah,
but they didn't. I mean, they didn't.
Yeah, that's true. Nomads do find their way to both towns. So
Yep. And they're going to advance their ship, pass for 13, so they'll have 113, but not a lot of endgame points. Despite hitting 15 network, this map is just insane.
yeah. Well,
So
yeah.
Nomads ended up with a
I
dwelling
mean,
on their board.
it's a combination of the map, but it's also, I mean, we saw Stronghold Witches, we have Alchemist, we have Engineers. Like, I mean, Nomads, I guess, are supposed to be good too. But, I mean, these are like possibly the 4 factions that are best suited to like pursuing network in just any game, anyhow.
Yeah, that's true. And they didn't really get in each other's ways that much, other than like this little cluster at like the center north here.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
around
Nerdcube had
A5, C4.
Nerdcube had to triple dig for his connection, but still winds up with only 1 structure on his board. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, engineers just have so many grays that they can touch. Like it was a triple dig there, but not a lot of digs elsewhere.
Yeah.
A lot of natural grays.
Yeah.
And a lot of
And also a lot of cult spades, right? The cult spades were so helpful.
Correct.
for Nerdcube this game.
He generated 3 cult spades. He also got on that pass spade at least once or twice. So, yeah, he did still actually use quite a few spades, but didn't even have to take that many. So yeah, we're almost at the end. So anyhow, congratulations, DeepFinesse, for continuing your run. It looks like you're also going to win the current arena season, depending on how well parking works. Are you able to stay away from arena? You're gonna be good at parking here?
that is the challenge, but I think I've learned a few tricks from Nerdcube.
Yeah, and I agree. I wouldn't.
Other games, right?
If I was at your rating, I'd stay high up there. Just play games with friends, play in the Discord, play. Just there's plenty of non-arena games to play. But so
does seem like he's trying to give me a run for my money though. So we'll see about that.
Somebody should challenge you, and they might make it. But yeah, you certainly have a hefty advantage. The I2 stuff does happen here, but so assuming that you do indeed win an arena season, you've won the first 3 seasons of the league. You're basically you have been the number one player. You're essentially the number one player at the moment, anyhow, amongst people playing within the milieu that we all exist in. So, what's your remaining goals? What are you hoping to prove or do in the Terra Mystica world?
Well, I was trying to shoot for 800 elo a couple of days ago, but I shot myself in the foot instead. So now it's still a long way there. But I mean, Terra Mystica is always fun, and as long as it's still fun, I'll continue playing.
Yeah, nope, that makes total sense to me. I was in a weird spell where it wasn't that I wasn't having fun, but I just wasn't particularly driven, and yeah, then Agricola has really consumed my life again, which has been fine. It's been fun. I'll probably get back to Terra Mystica, but yeah, it does go in waves, and I was in a slight wave of not really sure what I was doing and not having the most fun. But glad to hear you're just having fun playing the game still, and you're at the top of the pecking order at the moment. So.
Yeah, I think the fun thing does it does work a bit weird. Like it's basically impossible to predict when it's gonna stop being fun or when it's gonna start being fun again.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like you just kind of have to go with it and do what makes you happy, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Mood shift. I think it's important to take breaks from games and stuff sometimes. I'm looking way more to playing some Terra Mystica games again after like taking a pretty big break here. So I think it's good. But yeah, I mean, based on some of your F2O profiles, I don't even remember. Was it Bridge? Well, you used to play competitively in some other games, right?
Yeah, it was Bridge for a while, and then it was Magic for a bit. Did quite well in Magic, but then that kind of the competitive scene kind of fell apart there. So
gotcha. So that's what I mean. You're already slightly used to this. You kind of play stuff, and you potentially fizzle out, and who knows where it takes you. So it's fair.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite map to play on?
Your favorite map? Yeah, I do like Fjords a lot. It's but like really just because of all the reasons we discussed earlier. The amount of leech, the good openings I can get, and it just seems very flexible. And no one really likes to touch halflings on this map, so I get to play halflings a lot when I put them in, which is nice.
I agree. I love this map for I think you just get a lot of leech. I think you get a lot of options. I think you can do a lot, and I think it's pretty nicely balanced. Like I think most colors, most factions generally can have some pretty interesting game plans. It doesn't feel like you're always climbing uphill like you are on some maps sometimes, but.
It does feel like whenever, like, I have this tendency when I play to always just, like, bid on the faction that I know seems good and, like, just bid them down to, like, oblivion. And then, like, people will hop quickly and then I'll just see, like, the 30 faction go off. You know, like, in this game, like, you know, if Nerdcube is winning like you guys think, then, I mean, that was a 30 faction, right? Probably beating Raphael by a lot more than, like, the difference that we thought was the difference between nomads and engineers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like everything can like get play. Like weird color arrangements can get play. Okay, you know, like black does fine sandwich, blue does fine sandwich. I guess like red wouldn't do well sandwich, but you know, like you can see weird people like weird factions and stuff like do well, which is fun. Meanwhile, we do see Jekyll like get 3 points on connection by tying nomads. Little bit sad to like fight that hard for it and get 3 points. That's another crazy thing about Fjords.
Yeah, I agree. Like Jekyll made 15 network, but yeah, it's just 3 points. Like, I mean, it is landscapes. I guess 15 slightly less, but I agree. That part's crazy. It does look like Jekyll probably should have just taken the 11-point down. Simon wound up with it instead, and I think Simon is gonna beat Jekyll. I don't know. It's a little close. My math's tough to run that fast.
I'm thinking if there's any way Jekyll could have protected the lower right town. She would have needed to fly there earlier and to take the blue and gray ahead of the other players.
Yeah.
I think the round where Nerd bridged off his landscape to reach A5, she could have bridged instead and built G9. Then she would have had tempo on H8.
Yeah, and then she completely gives up network.
It's hard to get the digs fast enough, but you know, I mean, ignoring network seems like it has to be the play. I mean, investing all these resources in 3 shipping also just, I mean, you get 9 points, but you only get 3 network points. So yeah, it can't.
Yeah, 2 dig advances is probably better than 3 ship advances for Jekyll, just in terms of pure scoring.
Yeah, that seems likely. So
I think I watched an on this game on this map recently with Witches where he scored like 170 in the 170s, and he was like he had network. I think he probably wins network if he connects on 3 ship, but he just did not increase ship. And this is 3 towns and collected his ton of points.
yeah, I mean, it goes way back, right? I mean, at the start of this cast, I mean, Ondas is saying in the chat now too, but I mean, you said that witches probably shouldn't fight network, and yeah, I mean that's it does look like they kind of threw away resources at the end in some points, and I don't know if they threw away the win. Nerdcube's game looks pretty clean, but I don't know. I also don't exactly know how close it is. I kind of just waited, so.
The network line seemed very strong at the point of the E4 dig and flight to F5, though. I'm wondering if that would be still right in retrospect, even though like giving up network is right after, or if Jekyll should have gone down that line and play for network, or simply not fly to F5
Yeah,
at all.
I wonder if the real problem with network was taking that coin section and burning to 4 though. Then right, like never been able to double dig is rough. Like, but
There were also like a couple, like
pretty
a lot of early TPs.
pretty close game here at the end. 150 for Nerdcube, Simon at 146, Jekyll at 142. Yeah, like we got a heck of a game here still. Dang. Oh, 151 for Nerdcube,
Yeah.
sorry, but yeah.
Simon almost put it out, but the remaining towns were just too poor. Right. I think you could have.
Well, and that's where I do think Jekyll almost certainly lost second place then by taking a coin town instead of the 11-pointer.
No, actually, Rafa got the 11-pointer.
Oh, okay. Not Simon. But even then...
But I will say that if Jekyll had taken the ship town and killed Simon's town, that would have been better for Herd Network. And it would have been worse for, like, it would have been...
yeah.
Well, let's say Simon, like, gets 8 points anyway, but, like he just loses the 8 points.
That's a good
It's
point.
3 more points for Jekyll. Yeah. And...
Yeah, you're right. The ship town was what Jekyll needed to do there, though. We talked about that. That's true. Yeah, if Jekyll had noticed that.
It's a very difficult line to see that Logus pointed out, but yeah, like that was a... Like, Herd Simon there was probably correct.
It's 3 more points on network, but it's 1 less point for the town. Or is it 2? It's 1 less point for the town, right? So...
Well, you save a priest. That priest was worth at least 1 point versus nomads or alchemists on, like, the cults.
Mm-hmm.
Jekyll gets second.
But I guess you don't get the points.
Jekyll just definitely got second if he took the ship town and noticed that I2 block, but oh well. Nerdcube, you did make us all proud. I'm very glad you won this game. That town is awesome. Once we started noticing on the broadcast, we were really cheering for it, and then you went for it. So yes, it made me very happy at least.
We all loved the triple dig too. You know, like a big move. I was thinking that like D2 might have been good, but it would have required selling out really hard, and I think that this was better.
Yeah, indeed. Shout out to Rafa for forcing you for it. That's true. You did get forced into this ugliness. So, yeah, no, I mean, this is a really cool, interesting engineers game. I'm glad you won. I think you got second in the league, so congrats to the runner-up to DeepFinesse. I don't even know the Premier League standings, though. This is why they put me in charge of casting the finale. I'm really on top of this stuff, so. But, yeah. This is a really fun game. Any other comments from my co-casters? Otherwise, anybody in chat have any other questions for our Season 3 champion? And by Season 3, I mean the Season 1, 2, and 3 champ. Are you? Well, my first question is: Are you planning to compete whenever Season 4 is announced?
Hopefully.
Okay, yeah. That's the way the schedule works. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. As long as the schedule works.
Oh, excellent.
And can we expect you in a Fire 2 Open this year, if that happens?
I will make my best attempt. Although those are tough for another reason, but
Oh,
Yeah.
they're very tough. Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons those are tough. So. Stretch Nuts' question for you is: are you also deep fitness?
I'd say no, I'm not also deep fitness. That'd be nice though. I aspire to be deep fitness.
All right, awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, it's honestly the things you've been doing. I've kind of taken a slight break. So when I kind of have peeked back into the Terra Mystica world in the past few days in order to catch up, when I noticed that you were at like some crazy 770 elo, and then I heard you'd already locked up another season win, and then I looked at Arena. Yeah, you're on a crazy run at the moment, and that's wild. Oh, my question for you actually: have you ever played this game on a physical board yet?
No, I have not.
Oh yeah, that's wild. That's so wild to me. It's
I
just crazy.
don't own a copy of the game. Imagine the designers would be disappointed, but it also seems like every time I think about buying it, it just seems like such a hassle to play.
Games should live on a digital world. I think Terra Mystica is reasonably good, but it's a little fiddly, a little bookkeepy, right? You gotta make sure you're taking your resources, making sure you remember your own victory points is it's messy. So I welcome you to someday try to come to an in-person tournament with me. You're gonna not have any of the skills of tracking your own points. It's gonna be great. I'll get to that's my one hope of beating you nowadays.
Yeah, you can't see like the whole game state at a glance. Like I play on big monitors. I like it much more than when I play on my iPad for that reason, because you can see like what all four players have, and like you can figure out their plans much easier.
That's next level.
Yeah, it definitely is harder. Oh my gosh, I just went to your profile too. You have 1,000 games on this site. Okay, once we drop a bunch of the other ones, 957, but yikes. It's impressive. Well, hello chat. Welcome, Jekyll. Congratulations. The strongholds are awesome, so intimidating in real life. I love playing games in person still, yeah. So, but Terra Mystica lives on in a digital way very well. I mean, it's still crazy to me that this game has a whole dedicated snipe itself. It has a great adaptation of BJ. It has a fine adaptation at Yukata, and it has an app. Like, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how that ever happened, but
it does sound very fun. The buildings, in particular, sound very fun. I do like fiddling with wooden meepos or wooden buildings.
That's part of why. It's part of why I don't.
It's just power and tracking score.
Yeah, it's part of why I don't like Gaia Project. I don't have a pile of little worker cubes I can fiddle with. It's like you can't do that to me. But yeah. All right, chat. Blah blah blah. Simon didn't expect the triple dig. He thought he was gonna take C4 when NerdCube got it, so that's fun. And Jekyll was glad that the Alchemists were not up in her grill, and that does make sense. Jekyll's third town with Alchemist up in there would have been messy. So, really fun game of the Premier League here. Fun way to go out this season. For everybody that is watching, I guess, and doesn't know, this is the end of Season 3, but announcements for Season 4 will come out at some point. I think they're planning to start it up sometime next year, February-ish. I'd have to look again. There is a Discord. You can find that. I should know where, but I don't know exactly where. But you can always bug me on my channel. I'll eventually lead you there. Otherwise, there's information on Board Game Geek and stuff as well. So, Jekyll. Oh yeah, Jekyll. We were when you missed on the coins because Rafa took bridge. Yeah, we were all sad for you. We all knew that was a rough part. Deranged. Lead them to your Twitch. Deranged streams some Terra Mystica and Agricola. He's a fun streamer. You can find him at what exactly is your Twitch? There we go. Thank you.
And there's also the Discord to the Terra Mystica Tuesday League.
Ghostly got's my back. Yep. Good man. Thank you. Thank you very much. DeepFinesse, you've been doing a little streaming. I don't know if that's actually on your own end or you were doing it for others. Again, I wasn't paying full attention. Anything you're trying to plug here, quick?
It's on the Terra Mystery cat stream, but I don't do it as much. Mostly because I make a lot more mistakes when I stream, and that annoys me.
Welcome, yeah, welcome.
Making mistakes part. So.
Welcome to the streaming life. No, I like again. I have argued. I don't know. Like you occasionally get some ideas that are good, which is helpful, but sometimes I think I just don't think of the ideas because like I'm focusing on chat, I'm focusing on explaining, and so yeah, like I agree. It is interesting sometimes when I'm playing games and I can be fully focused. It often feels a little cleaner than when I'm trying to stream, but it's probably a little bit of a skill too. But anyhow, you guys can catch him out there occasionally. Although apparently he's not a huge fan of streaming, so it's fair enough. He can just terrorize us in the games anyhow. Speaking of terrorizing us in the games, let's look at the one stat. How many times have I played DeepFinesse still? Once, and not really. The game was abandoned. Oh, look at that. All right, someday I should actually play you, but we'll get there. Deranged, how do you fare against DeepFinesse? Do you want me to look that up real quick? Do we want to answer that?
Yeah, I don't mind showing the record. It's not pretty. It's not pretty, but I'm happy to have it bared.
All right, let's find you quick.
I
right
think
there.
I only have a couple of hits.
Okay, it's not terrible, but you're one of his more common opponents. Yeah.
I have a lot of.
I'm a common opponent from Bullet Games. Apparently.
Oh, there's probably a bunch of Blitz games in there. That's true. DeepFinesse.
I have been doing absolutely terrible.
DeepFinesse has
games lately.
That's fair. He has a 16 for 21 on you, but yeah, that is pretty. It's pretty questionable because the Blitz is really up in there. So.
Yeah, it's but I have done pretty terrible against him. I will say, like overall too. So.
Also, DeepFinesse, it looks like you struggle against Claybo based on these stats. Do you agree with that? Is the secret we need to all go bug Claybo on how to take you down?
Oh, you haven't seen the Zitcop yet.
Well,
versus Zitcop, you have to scroll down a bit more.
Oh, Zitcop is your kryptonite. Wow, 0 for 10. All right, Zitcop is the man we got to talk to. You're right. Okay.
It was 0 for 8, I think, not too long ago.
It says 0 for 10. All right, this is the man. Okay, everybody, we gotta all learn the secrets from Zitcop on how to take this man off the top of the Terra Mystica ladder. Zitcop has some secret sauce.
I'm like really annoyed at this, but I imagine like Zitcop must find this pretty amusing. So I kind of see the humor in that.
It's pretty interesting because I mean your record is at least 40%. Like I mean you just straight up beat almost everyone. Claybo and Terra Steel are. Cool, like slightly better, but I mean it's within the margin. Like, yeah, that is wild. That's a weird stat. Well, anyhow, I am really just blabbing on. Playing against DeepFinesse is known as taking lessons. Indeed, it's been great. Thanks all for hanging out. Thanks all for chatting. If anybody in chat has anything else to ask, let me know. Otherwise, we've plugged Deranged, we've plugged DeepFinesse, we've plugged the Terra Mystica Tuesday League. Fire to Open. Yeah, if you don't know about that, it's a really awesome Terra Mystica tournament. Hypothetically, we're going to be going with another season soon, but I don't totally know because Bizzle's pretty busy. So you can find that out on some Board Game Geek. There'll be posts. There'll be some posts in the Fire to Open Discord too. But yeah, who knows for sure? But that's the only other thing I know that might be happening. And otherwise, me personally, you can find me streaming occasionally. Hypothetically, I'll do some more Terra Mystica in the future, but I'm mostly an Agricola guy right now. But who knows? Things will fluctuate. Otherwise, if you're looking for other good streams and stuff too, NerdCube sometimes streams. That's a great one to follow. NerdCube Games. Other Terra Mystica streamers. Weber's been streaming a bunch. Weber AJ. That's a great one. I'm probably forgetting some others, but you'll be able to find some stuff in the future. If anybody's looking for stuff. Otherwise, yeah, thanks guys for joining me. If you got anything left to say, let me, go ahead. It's all there for you. All right, that's not much. So, yeah, thanks Deranged, thanks DeepFinesse for joining me. It was really fun. We were a little timid we were a little tricky at first, but I think we got the three-way talking down reasonably well there too. So thanks.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right. With that, then, yeah, it looks like chat doesn't really have anything. And we had a great game. We had a great end of the season. Thanks all for hanging out, watching, following this season. We will see you for the next season in a few months. Until then, have a great time. I'm heading off. Good night, everyone.
Bye.